Welcome to another episode of Cocktails with Cousins. I'm Erica.
I'm KD.
I'm Raina.
And we're here to talk about this finale for Married at First Sight, Houston. Tonight, we're going to talk about Reunion 2, Part 2, and then we're going to talk about the Where Are They Now episode that aired right behind it. Before we get started, go ahead and hit the like button. We know that you're going to enjoy this conversation because if you're like us, you knew it was a whole bunch going on in these two episodes. Make sure that you share the content and that you subscribe to our channel so that you don't miss any episodes when we start recording again in January when they go to Boston, but we'll talk about that at the end. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. We're going to go in the order kind of how they did it on the show. So let's talk about Zach and Michaela first. All I gotta say is they did Michaela's part the last episode, and then they had Zach on there this time. And Zach really must think that America are fools because he really believes that nobody thinks that they had sex. Like he said they didn't have sex for the 1 month anniversary. He said that oh, get this, he said after decision day when he said no, yes but no, you know how he no but whatever it was that he was trying to say, that he wanted to comfort Michaela. And so he had her come stay at his house for a week and have sex during that week. But that was to comfort her because he said no. Like, what do y'all think about that? Because that sounds crazy to me.
Definitely crazy. I'm just realizing that's Zach. Like,
Yeah.
Nobody gets Zach, and because he talks in circles. So
He definitely was talking in circles.
I didn't know that Zach was the oldest of his brothers.
I didn't either. I thought he was the baby. Yeah, because we said that, like we said that before, and then whoever said that that he was the oldest, and I was like, Bao said that he was the oldest. I was like, how did I miss that tidbit of information? Like, how did I get
right?
I don't know. Yeah.
Do we know this? Like, is this facts, or are we just going by what
it is facts.
Yeah. I don't know.
That's news to me because this whole time I thought he was the baby of the family.
I did. I thought he was the baby of the family too, and that made it make more sense. But now that he's the oldest,
because this whole time we were saying how Zach and Michaela both have those tendencies to be the baby. So wow, that's interesting.
Yeah, and he said his younger brother was getting married.
He did.
Oh,
but I thought he was the middle.
I thought he was the middle. Yeah, that's. I'm sorry, but like for him to be the oldest and such a crybaby, I don't know.
Oh my God. And then what is this about him? I was looking forward to having a good time with her at the reunion. And we were going to sit here and chit chat and talk about the good old times. I'm like, good old times. Like, sir, were you sick the whole season? Because y'all didn't have good old, the best time y'all had is when you had COVID and y'all were separate. The best time that you had.
But I know that that the reason Michaela got so triggered when they were at the retreat is because her dad was upset when he left and got hit by a car. That would make sense why she wouldn't want Zach to leave.
No, that did make more sense.
But she shouldn't have made him upset.
Say that again.
I said that's true, but she shouldn't have made him upset. Because you know that would trigger him to leave. So you did it.
Well, yeah, you did tell him to leave 55,000 times. And then you was like, no, wait. Don't leave. It did make more sense though, KD. I agree.
Right.
It made sense after she said it. And I was like, oh, okay. Like, that's why you didn't want him to leave. But still, you shouldn't, like you said, you shouldn't have sat there and pissed him off to the point of him wanting to leave. So that, whatever. But, he just didn't make any sense because even in the reunion show, he kept talking in circles because at one part of the reunion, he said he didn't even want to be friends with her. And he closed out and was like, I'll always be there for you. If you want me, you can always reach out to me. We just weren't a fit together. And I was like, sir, 2 seconds ago you said you won't try to be Bob. He was confusing. Like
He literally.
And then Michaela was confusing because Zach was trying to apologize to her, and she said, "Shut up," and he shut down.
Man,
I gotta feel her because at this point I was like, "You done said everything under the sun, sir. I don't want him to."
But at least let him apologize. She didn't have to accept it though.
right. And when Kevin finally got her to shut up, what's the name? Zach was like, "No, I'm good. I'm done." And I'm like, ugh. And you know what? They trigger one another so. Like they trigger one another every single time, and I'm like, see, this is why it will never work. It just can't.
No, this
There's
is
no
true.
way.
They did it the whole entire time. So yeah, that made sense that they continue on in the reunion. So we can't just stop talking about them unless we talk about this Where Are They Now, and him and Bao and pulled together, and now he likes her. Like
Right.
I was looking on her Instagram.
Okay.
And it's a whole bunch of Asian people, and then Johnny. No, and then Zach.
It is Zach. Oh, she has a picture of him on her Instagram?
Yeah, a picture of him, a picture of her at her divorce party. And he was the only Black man there.
Oh, interesting.
And she had a piñata of somebody who looks like Johnny and hitting it.
Okay. I'm not mad at that.
I'm not
because I would have done the same.
Look, she should have just gotten the exact replica and been like, look, y'all saw the show. Y'all know what I
Right. He's like the worst husband ever.
Oh my God. Yeah, I want to talk about them. I have so much to say about them when we get there. I just thought it was hilarious to me that he was like, I really, really like you and I want to take you out on a date. He waited until Ryan left. I guess
yes.
Gossip train to happen, but I don't know. What do you think? Do you think they would make it as a couple? Like, I don't know. What do you guys think?
Possibly, because she definitely don't have knee-jerk reactions.
Yeah.
And she's not one to get up and leave.
Right.
You know, yeah. She's the one to stick it out and stick it through and sit there and try to work things out. So it may work.
Yeah, it may work.
He said that he likes her being herself, and he didn't have a problem with her being goofy or whatever. Like he liked that, and she said that she liked that he gave compliments and all that stuff. So I was like, interesting.
Yeah, and so they were keeping it as keeping it a secret from all the other couples. But I wonder, when they watch the show back, could they tell that it was already something?
I know that from the what is it, the one with Jamie, the Unfiltered.
Yeah.
The point is that where we were like, why are they saying that about Bao? Like, why are they saying that? You know how they kept kind of throwing in little sly remarks or whatever. Mirla said
Michaela.
Yeah. And Michaela said something. So they must have already, known what was going on, because those were definitely clues into the window. But I wondered, like, I wanted to go back now and see like their interactions throughout the season. I guess the part that I was most confused about was, remember, Bao was the one that called Zach out on his BS right before decision day, when
I was gonna say it. Yep.
Right. Yep. Yeah, the no means, no, or whatever. Right. So it was interesting to hear her say like, oh, but I could give him a chance. Like, did she forget everything that went on through the season?
I was thinking the same thing, the exact same thing. But it's also weird to me because when the ladies got together, they all seemed to get along. Like Michaela, I wasn't feeling any type of like negative vibe from her toward Bao.
Yeah.
And Bao even had something nice to say about Michaela. So I don't know. Maybe they're fine with it.
I don't know. Yeah, maybe they well, well, when we talk about, well, we're gonna talk about Michaela, we can talk about how she was trying to run up on Gil. When he left the stage, she went running after him, and then on the Where Are They Now, she was like buddy with him. So I said she sees a good man that is available, and she said she is going to put herself out there, whether he wants to see her or not. She's gonna put herself out there and see what happened. That's what I said.
Yeah. You heard Gil ask her in the Where Are They Now? He's like, so is that the end of Hurricane K?
Yeah.
It's like he's trying to make sure, because I'm not doing that. I don't do that.
Well, the thing about it is I feel like, and I hate to say this because this doesn't sound right, but she kind of needs someone with his personality. I'll say it like that. Because he will sit there and let her do her whole thing and then be like, are you finished? Like, now can we whatever? So she kind of needs someone who won't pay her any attention, because obviously she's gotten attention for that behavior previously. And so she needs someone who doesn't care about it and will let her do whatever and ignore her. And then she'll realize, I mean, that's my opinion, that she'll realize like, oh, this doesn't even faze them. Like, what's the point of me doing it? Because, you know, whatever. I don't know. Anywho, yeah. And then the only other thing about her is she started shadow boxing to help her with her anger. But I hope she started therapy too.
Yeah, she definitely needs it.
She definitely needs it. Anything else about them? No, I think so. I think we've exhausted them. A good season. Good thing the season is over. We don't have to deal with them anymore. Moving right along to Bao and Johnny. What in the world was going on with them? Because they were the only couple that actually had a sit down and talk out this time. So what did you guys think of them?
So basically, Johnny tried to say that Pastor Cal and Bao was the reason that they didn't make it out.
Explain that a little bit more, because I don't think I understood it like that.
So he said after his sit down with Dr. Pepper, he was coming out as optimistic to see what this man could hold.
Okay.
And Johnny, Bao had a sit down with Pastor Cal, and she was taking the pessimistic side, meaning he was blaming Pastor Cal for saying something to Bao to make her dislike him.
Oh, you mean by telling her that she needed to wake up and stop letting him say the crazy things that he was saying to her?
Right.
You mean standing up for yourself?
Right. And
Kevin Frazier kept asking Johnny for examples of how Bao was, and it was like crickets.
Crickets, girl. I was like, could you give us an example? Like he every time he would ask for an example, he just kept on not saying anything. And I was so confused during that whole session that I was just like, I don't get it. I still don't understand why he was so upset during the season.
He's basically getting at like saying that how behind or off camera, Bao didn't want to talk. She wanted to like pre-plan what like their talking points, because it's certain things, especially like for instance their sex life. She said she didn't want that to be in the public eye. I can understand that.
Right.
I mean, I wouldn't want the world to know either. You know, like certain things you want to keep between yourself, like as a couple. So totally get it. I don't understand why he can't understand that. And also, I don't think it's just the Asian thing. I think that's a lot of people. You don't want your family to see you in a certain light when it comes to stuff like that, right?
Exactly.
And it's like you still want to be like respectable, whatever. So for him to not under, like he kept saying, he's like, you know, I'm comfortable with who I am. Well, you're also a dude, so you don't have the same standards as a woman as far as how, you know, how much they're out there, that type of thing. So it's like he's just ignorant, in my opinion, just pure ignorance. And he wasn't being understanding enough. For him, he kept calling her fake. And I'm like, that doesn't make her fake. It's certain things she does not care to talk in front of the camera about. Like, I don't understand how that makes you fake.
And he was saying that their conversations had to be planned. I plan out serious conversations in my head that I want to talk about with my husband all the time.
Right. I just feel like you have to go into a conversation with a level mind. And then two, they were not on camera 4 hours a day. Like, I mean, when they were at work, they weren't on camera. They only had a certain time of the day that they were filming. So I feel like if it's something that could add to your storyline, then you would want to make sure, like, hey, make sure we talk about XYZ, while we're on camera today. It's reality TV. Like, you can only have so much reality, because in my day-to-day reality, I'm not sitting around having these types of conversations, moment after moment. Like, there's downtime. So if like we were just doing raw, recording, like, it could be a time where I just want to sit back and watch TV. Like, I mean, who want to see that? You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I just couldn't understand why, even if she wanted to plan the conversations, I still didn't get from the reunion why it got him so frustrated. Like, even if they had conversations off camera, I just couldn't understand why he wouldn't be like, remember when we talked yesterday off camera, when you said X, Y, and Z? Like, if it was something that bothered him so much, I don't understand why he just blew up like a tantrum, like a toddler, and walked away and never said anything. Not then, and not even at the reunion when he was being asked repeatedly what he was saying.
Exactly. And to be honest with you, like, he kept saying, well, because she has social anxiety, I couldn't say this, and that. What did he say? He said he felt like he was drowning, isolated, and he felt he was manipulated. And to, I guess the whole experience, he felt that way about her. And I'm just like, I don't know how to take it, because it's like, for someone who has social anxiety and don't really want to, I guess, show certain parts of you and your family, like, that was very vulnerable. She talked about her childhood with her dad being like the town's drunk or whatever, and they were poor, and she even took him to her childhood home where it's just land now. It's like, is that, and then they did a lot of kinky things on camera. So I'm just like, what is the issue, Johnny? Like, you still got what part of the story is it that's not being filmed that you want the whole world to see? I'm not understanding that part. Like, what's missing? He kept saying, he was like, you got, like, we can't even tell our story the way it is. And I'm like, so what is missing? Talk, say something. Mm-hmm. And he just basically just wants to point fingers at Val, like, well, she this, she that. Like, okay, but what about her though? Like, what is it? She's fake. How is she fake? And he's not answering any of the questions.
No.
Did you hear Dr. Viviana when she was talking about them? She was kind of agreeing with Johnny, and said, for lack of better words, Val could be manipulative.
We got you.
Yes. but she said, but she also said, she's like, but that's everybody though. We're all, to a certain degree, manipulate situations or conversations, whatever. And because that's when she was talking to Pastor Cal about it, and he was like, I respect you, but we have to disagree.
Right.
And because he was saying, he was like, you sound like you're saying she's being manipulative. And she was like, yeah, but we all are to a certain extent. But I think he was more team Val, and I don't blame him, because he saw how Johnny was acting when he was being just mean, rude, whatever, telling her he should have been matched with anybody but her.
Yeah.
And you remember that conversation. So Pastor Cal knows the real deal. Like, he's seen Johnny's like terrible side. So I think he's looking at it from that perspective, like, nah, Val ain't tripping. Like, Johnny's over the top.
Yeah, he was over the top. I guess, and again, I'm gonna say this again. I just couldn't get it because he wouldn't explain it. And so like then it seems as if you looked at the where are they now, it seemed as if he has had a conversation with Mirla and Rachel and Jose about everything that has happened, but he still wouldn't say it on camera. And I'm trying to figure out, like, I just couldn't figure out what she could have, little bit old Bao could have been doing and saying off camera that had him so bent out of shape, because he said a whole bunch of stuff on camera that could have been anybody out of shape. I just didn't understand what she was doing that was so egregious that, you know, that he was like completely out of wax. Even at the Where Are They Now, when they did like all the couples came together, as soon as she got there, he left. Because he was just like, I just don't want my energy to be off, and I don't want to go backwards because I've been having therapy. And I was like, sir, what you're doing is being manipulative, because I just didn't understand it. I'm sorry.
But Bao could have at least spoke to him. How immature are you that you can't speak to a person that you were married to? I'd be like, throw the deuces, hey, and left with Zach.
I see both sides. I understand she definitely spoken, but he did put her through a whole bunch.
Yeah.
Right. I don't know. I don't know. Like, Katie, I understand what you're saying. It's easy to just be like, hey, and speak and just be done with it. But because it's Johnny, I don't know. Like, I don't even want to look at you. Don't even look at me. That's how I feel about Johnny. Like, that's how much I
don't go.
Yeah. I don't
understand why she went
to be with Zach.
If she knew it was a chance that Johnny was going to be there.
Yeah, I almost feel like her and Zach shouldn't have come, and they should have let it just be Jose, Rachel, Mirla, and Johnny, because that's really who the party was for anyway. And none of the rest of them should have come, because they really, because I don't know if you guys picked up this on the Where Are They Now. They seem like a little clique.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? So they have their own opinions and ideas about everybody. And it's like, oh, we invited everybody, but they really didn't want everybody to come, because Gil would have come. They would have
because that's why Gil and Michaela didn't show up. And Brett didn't show up
too. Yeah. Because they was like, well, what's the point? Because y'all clicking. And you know, y'all got y'all opinions, so I don't know. I wouldn't have gone. I would have been like, yeah, but no.
So with the Johnny and Bao, when Kevin was asking, he had asked them, are you ready for marriage? Do you feel you're still ready for marriage? And Bao said yes. And Johnny was like, yeah, I've been seeing someone for about a month now. Like, he's been, and in my mind, I'm like, oh, we already know. We already know it's probably Mirla. Correctly, like, who do you think, who would you have matched each couple up with? He off his first answer, he had already fantasized about him and Mirla. I already know. He already did. He was like, I think Mirla and I would have been a good match. And Michaela suggested Zach. And not Michaela, what's her name? Bao suggested Zach. So I was like, they just told on each other.
Yeah. And
they just kind of confirmed it.
I think that the only reason why him and Mirla are in the friend zone is because she friend zoned him.
Do you really think that they're in the friend zone? Because I don't.
No,
I do.
Because I can talk about Mirla all day, and I don't like her. That's what I said.
What makes you think they're in the friend zone, KD? Because I don't think they're in the friend zone. That was too touchy.
Because if Mirla wanted Johnny, he would go to her.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. That's why I believe they're in the friend zone. She friend zoned him.
Well,
she just like to play with him.
No, but Johnny just said he started dating or seeing someone for about a month now. And so he's not friend zoned. I think she's just putting on for reunion part 2. So that it's kind of like to save, I don't know, to not hurt Gil's feelings, although she's already hurting him, but just by being there and being playful with Johnny.
The reunion part 2 and the Where They Now was take months apart.
Right, so that she don't get the backlash from the rest of the world.
I think she's
I disagree.
Yeah, I think that she's lying and that they are seeing each other. I don't know how intimate they have gotten because she did take it slow with Gil. But I think that they are working towards something, and they may be in the friend zone right now, but I definitely think that there has been a desire for more.
He was sitting there spraying sunscreen on her chest area, on her bikini, like when they're at the pool.
And it's been straight to her little bungalow.
It's playing with him.
It's been 4 months since decision day. So if they took it slow, that time period is over. I think that they fully blown like together.
I don't know.
She just not, I just feel like she's not saying it in front of cameras. That's what I think.
I mean, she did.
But why wouldn't she say it in front of cameras?
Because
Gil already crushed Gil's heart. Why wouldn't she say it in front of cameras?
Because people will drag her, although
people
we already
dragging her.
But she would look like a straight up bitch, basically, if she's sitting there.
She is a straight up bitch.
I'm not denying that, Katie. I'm just saying it looks worse when you have like no like heart whatsoever to sit there and be all lovey-dovey with your boo right next to.
But they did it already.
How? When?
They did. They were sitting. You didn't see them at their reunion. They sat beside each other.
Yeah.
And then they kept touching on each other.
Right.
She was like, you know, doing all this, and they claimed that they were best friends. That's what she kept saying, that they're best friends. But I think it really would have been like a dagger to Gil's heart if she was just blown out like, yep, we together. I don't think it would have made a difference to Gil because he's already crushed, like you said. I just feel that that's like, she thinks that it makes a difference. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I think that she is definitely trying to save face for the world. She knows that she's already getting backlash from the world, but at the end of the day, like you said, Katie, she's a bitch. She is an ice queen. And she really does not care that she hurt Gil. And
she don't care.
Yeah, it's like, whatever. Like that was fun. We can get to them because I have some things to say about their whole situation also. I think we kind of worked Val and Johnny as much as possible. He kept saying that no but yes crap again, and I was like, oh God, here we go again. I just feel like he always kind of really didn't like Val. He had a resentment for her for whatever reason, and like it just kind of showed throughout the whole entire season. And I am very happy that they got a divorce and she said no, and it's almost like even icing on the cake that her and Zachary are seeing each other or dating each other on the side, if they still are, or even went on dates, because it's just like, in your face. But anywho, moving right along, let's talk about Jose and Rachel. So they sat down with Pastor Cal and the other experts, and they were talking about their relationship. And let me tell you one thing, what Dr. Pepper is not letting up on, the fact that Jose is controlling and has anger issues. She brought that up again and twisted and said that he needs to get help for that, because if not, then they are going basically nowhere fast. What were you guys' thoughts on that when she started talking about that again?
I mean, I'm so glad that Dr. Pepper is a straight shooter, because she did not waste any time getting to that point when it came to Jose. And so, I mean, that was, like, it was self-explanatory. Jose, you need help.
Right.
Go get you got anger issues, go get help for that. Go ahead.
And I think he will seek help because he wants to be with Rachel that bad.
He does. He kept talking about how much work he had put in.
Yeah.
How
they want to make their marriage work.
Yeah. I wish he would have elaborated though. He kept saying, I've been putting in the work in. I've been doing what though? What have you been doing? You've been calling her?
Right.
What you been doing?
We need a resume. Give us what you're saying. What he also didn't elaborate on was the reason why he blew up on her in the first place when them friends asked. He danced all around that question and never actually gave them a reason to what happened, why, what happened, why it happened, and if he would do it again. I was like, sir, but you didn't answer her question. Like she asked,
but they already seen it. They know why.
Yeah, but when what was it? Was she asking him like, can we expect to see that again? He didn't answer. He didn't say anything. He kept, like I said, he kept dancing around whatever it was. I can't remember the exact question, but I want to say it was, what can we expect to, will we see this again, or what changes or something? But he didn't answer it. Basically, if I was those friends, I would have left being like, girl, I don't know. He might not be right, because he kept saying the same thing that he said over and over again and not being the straight shooter about it. I mean, he did it on purpose. So why not just be overly apologetic for it and move on and, say what you're going to do? I don't know. What else did you guys think about their conversation with the experts? Do you think that they are going to be able to make it once they move back in together?
Well, Rachel said she's open to moving back in as long as it feels like their house, or better yet, they go and get a house together. But she said, but not tomorrow. Like, it's going to take some time till we get there. So I think they will eventually get there, but I don't know. Like, at this point, I don't know what else Jose can do. I think he just need to learn how to just be quiet and just let her have her space.
Yeah.
But in the where are they now? They said they were moving back in together.
They did. But I guess this is the question. I guess, how healthy is their marriage going to be, and how far will it go if she is going to continue to put her friends before her husband? Like,
right,
saying that, oh, I have to impress her friends. I could get her family. That's something I feel like a little bit different. But like her friends, he was like, oh, she likes to hang out with her friends. She wants to be around them. I have to impress them if I'm going to get in good with her. Like, hold on, why are you putting on a dog and pony show for her friends? Like, you're her husband.
Yeah.
To figure it out.
Yeah.
That's something I was wondering too about. Hold on. Those are your friends. I could see them having an issue with the whole blowout. But once that you forgave them, they need to forgive him too.
And move on. Yeah. And if he does something stupid again, then they can be like, girl, I told you that he won't no good to her.
Yeah.
I mean, he don't need to have to put on for her friends or whatever. And I felt like it was a whole bunch of emphasis put on that in the episode and the where are they now, and I just didn't understand it. Like, you either want a husband or you want some friendships,
right?
You want to have fun with your friends, but I just don't feel like that helps to build a healthy marriage. I don't know, maybe I'm not seeing this clearly.
I totally agree with you.
Yeah. I don't know, it didn't seem too great, because I think there was a scene for Where Are They Now where, I don't know if they were at a bar or a bowling alley, but like they had, what they said in conversation was like, we keep coming back to this and we can't keep doing this.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, whatever it is. And I think Rachel was saying when they were talking to the experts that they keep arguing about how they argue.
Yeah.
And so I guess, I don't know if they figured that out yet.
Well, they have to learn how to communicate, which is the problem. They don't know how to communicate, because I really feel like she is, and I said this throughout the season, she is uberly focused on keeping her independence, and is already controlling. And they both are going to have to let go of what they are used to in order to build something together. Like, she's not going to be able to continue to go and be free and do everything that she wants to do whenever she wants to do it, hop on a plane or whatever, because she's in a marriage or whatever. When you're single, you can do that. Like, if you want to go on the weekend, fly out with a friend, you can. But I mean, with a husband, you have to be, be more strategic or whatever. Not saying you have to give that up totally, but you do have to be more flexible. I don't know.
That's true. Yep.
But anywho, enough of them because we talked about them before and they seem to be wanting to make it. So hopefully for them, they will make it. All right, so we will move right along. All right, so let's move on to the next couple. Let's talk about Ryan and Brett. They didn't focus in on them this episode, but they were a part of the, reunion panel as well as the Where Are They Now. What final thoughts did you guys have about them?
So Ryan likes skinny girls with no butts because he said Maggie was his type physically.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm picking up on that.
Yeah, when he said that, I was like, but they're about the same. Like, I mean, what?
No.
What's so different about you? Said, not at all. Brett got body.
Brett has bigger boobs.
She does.
And a rounder body.
But I didn't understand why her body type was so bad. Like, I thought she was a nice looking young lady. I mean, I don't know.
I mean, apparently he's attracted to skinny girls.
Oh, okay. Well.
Yeah, I remember him saying early on in the show how, like, right before they got married, basically, he can't imagine himself being with someone who doesn't work out. I remember him saying that.
She's a volleyball coach. I mean, doesn't require working out.
That's what he said. To me, there's nothing wrong with Brett. She is not even big to me, in my opinion. She doesn't look fat.
My opinion too.
And the thing, I mean, she's just heavy, top heavy.
Yeah.
Which should be a great thing, right? So, I don't know.
Not to Ryan.
To me, in all honesty, I'm sorry, and whatever. Brett looks a whole lot better than the other girl anyway.
Yeah.
I didn't understand it. I was I said he must want somebody because for me, he still looks like a train wreck. Like he looks like he got no sleep whatsoever. Like the film started and his eyes had like
puffy bags.
Yeah, the bags up under. Like he seems so stressed on life. I don't know what it is, but I'm like, dude, like there was nothing wrong with Brett. You just didn't want her. I think it was that you guys had different views. You wanted to find any reason to move away from her in a relationship. He also said that his sister said he dated people that weren't very deep. So I don't know how Maggie feels about that when she saw the episode, because I'd be like, so what are you trying to say? I'm not that deep? Because you said I'm your type.
Right. And I don't get where Ryan's talking about he's getting back in this, to the dating pool. It was like, you only been married for 8 weeks and you were a serial dater before that.
Right.
And during. Well, not during, but he was dating on the whatever dating app he was on with.
Yeah, exactly. It was interesting to me that he said he wants someone who's confident in themselves, who is level-headed, well-rounded. And I just was like, so are you trying to say that Brett wasn't those things? Because I didn't not see that.
I was about to say, sounds like Brett to me.
Yeah, I was like, I mean, it sounded like you got exactly what you asked for. You were mad because she didn't want to shoot guns, and you can be well-rounded without wanting to do everything that's out there to be done. I don't know. I was very glad to see that Brett had just moved on and did not want to be bothered with him. She didn't go to the reunion gathering on the Where Are They Now. And then I thought it was interesting that her and Gil were hanging out with each other. I know that they put them together as a good match, and I mean I could see them being together also, but I think that she can do better, and he was not it.
Not at all. And I feel like I honestly feel like Brett and Gil probably have like a genuine friendship.
Yeah.
Based on the season, and like even like when they would talk about when the group is together and they're talking about each individual couple, Gil always felt for Brett, like, man, I feel for her because she's giving it her all and Ryan's not reciprocating her feelings, blah, 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 blah. So I think Gil, I don't know whether he looks at her like that or not, but I do feel that they have like a good friendship because he felt for her a lot during the season. So
yeah, he saw what was happening. He saw signs. But yeah, I wish Brett much luck. I hope she finds someone who is worth her time. Maybe that number that she got during the season is panning out well. But anywho, all right, let's move on. Let's talk about the Ice Queen herself and Gil. And Mirla. What in the world? Where can we even start with them when we talk about this, this episode?
So this is the part where they met with the experts and Dr. Pepper came through again because whatever BS explanation Mirla gave, Dr. Pepper was not here for it. She's like, I need specifics. I need to know why, like what changed between decision day and 2 weeks from then. And so because they went, she was like, no, I want you to see this clip. I want you to see this clip. And they showed the clip when Mirla showed up drunk with the one-on-one with Dr. Pepper. Remember that? And Mirla was in tears talking about, he makes the bed, he buys me flowers every week, he opens the door wherever we are. And she was like, it's the consistency. She was like, that's the key to my heart. And she listed all of these great things about Gil, but says it was the financial stability, the initial attraction and chemistry that's why it didn't work out. And all the experts were just like, what? Like, no, that it does not. Pastor Cal thinks that she's like, she made a decision based on fear. And Dr. Viviana was like, I don't think you're digging deep enough. Like, that's so shallow. Like, that's so, that's something you can like compromise on or whatever, like talk, like just have a discussion about. But Mirla made up her mind. Like I said, y'all, I'm convinced she was just in it for the money. She played him. He got played. And I feel so sorry for him because my heart, I wanted to cry.
But if she was in it for the money, wouldn't she say no on decision day?
Like I said, I just feel like she's, for whatever reason, she feel like she's saving face, but we all know the truth. We're going to think what we think anyway. So she should have just, went all the way with it, but whatever. And he started crying when he saw that clip because for him, it was like a sudden thing, right? Like there was no communication of whatever she felt. It was like a sudden thing, like, well, I made up my mind. I don't want to be with you no more. I don't like you like that. So we're done. It wasn't a let's talk about this. Let's try to make it work. It was like, nope, I made up my mind. That's it. So he felt blindsided. He had no say in the matter. And like his life was like literally turned upside down overnight. And whew, girl, I wanted to cry when I saw that.
I can't understand. Like, I'm with KD. Like, if it was for the money and they were going to get money regardless if they made it to decision day, I guess I just can't understand what changed in 2 weeks, because on decision day, she said very glowing things about him. And so I just couldn't understand what happened in 2 weeks that made her be like, no, I don't want to be with you. I never wanted to be with you. Like, I just couldn't get it. And then like, even with the financial thing, Pastor Carol was like, well, when I met my wife, I was broke and she helped me to be able to build the empire or whatever. I don't know. And he was willing to change because he was like, she makes me want to do better, Hey, so it wasn't like he was unwilling to do something to be able to make more money. I don't know. I'm not buying. I don't know that it's for the money. I'm with Dr. Viviana and Pastor Cal when they say that y'all really didn't have a reason to get a divorce.
They didn't.
And we can't figure it out because it was just confusing that I feel like led him on. And I mean, really, like you said, played him to say yes and then let him sell everything that he owned. And then was like, but I don't want to be with you. That's so cool.
I wonder what happened to make her not be able to trust him with their financial future.
Yes, she
was hinting at that, but would not specifically say what, right? And so when I say she was in it for the money, like, we know with this show, it's not just about the money. It comes with your Instagram follower, like the fame, the little fame that you get. So I think it was more of that, because she was already, she's full of herself, always on Instagram, taking snapshots. You already know her numbers are going up. So I feel like it's a little bit of everything. She just wasn't in it for the right reasons. Like, as far like the marriage, she knew ahead of time she wasn't gonna be with whoever it was, whether she said yay or nay. I think she had already made up her mind going into this experiment, saying, I know what I want. I'm doing the show for notoriety, whatever, get that, and I'm done. Let me get out of it. That's how I took it. So it's not just like money, because it's not like they get paid millions doing this stuff, right? Whatever. But I don't know, maybe she just needed that money to have a down payment for her house. Who knows?
I don't know. That's the most confusing couple that I have ever seen, really, on this whole this whole show. Like, because I just didn't understand what happened that was so drastic that she would end up changing her mind. And then already made some changes, like he's going to paramedic school, so that I'm sure is going to yield him more money. He's in therapy, more so probably to deal with the shock from them, breaking up. But I mean, I just feel like he was flexible. And then if she had, like, because one thing that she was saying, I want to say on the Unfiltered, was that he berated her all season long and called her princess and called her, diva and all that. But everybody on the show did that. So
she called herself a diva.
Yeah. So why was that an issue?
And she should have communicated that if she did feel some type of way about it, like Katie said earlier. So
yeah.
I don't know. And
I wish she would have just spoke up for herself, saying, like, I don't like you calling me a diva. It's it wasn't funny. Like something.
Yeah. I mean, she had no problem with speaking up about anything else. She was right about what she didn't like in other senses. Like a dog. She didn't like a dog, but for whatever reason, she ended up getting one.
Looks like she's gonna get one, yeah. And Pastor Cal asked her, well, is marriage even for you? She was like, I don't know. I gotta think about it. And that's what I'm saying. I feel like she already knew what she was doing going into this. Like, it didn't matter who she ended up with. She was already gonna do this. And I hate that it was Gil, because he's actually a good guy. He's one of the good ones. Like, that's the worst case scenario. Like, someone who's really in it for the right reasons and really want to be in a marriage, and they get shitted on, like that whole saying of nice guys finish last. Yeah. I really hate that for him. I really do. I mean, he deserves better, but I also just hate it.
It broke my heart when Johnny and Marilyn was giggling and laughing at Gil's expense.
Yeah, they were so like you said, they was just kind of, I feel like really, I don't even know what to call it. I don't want to call it rude, because I just feel like they were disrespectful. We'll call it that. Because did you see how, like, they were touching on each other? They literally sat beside each other, and they didn't have to. So they sat beside each other, and then they sat there, like you said, giggling and touching on each other the whole time. When Gil finally had enough and got up and walked out, Johnny was like, I guess he didn't like that question or whatever. And I'm like, sir, you know good and well what's going on. Like, for you to even say that shows that you and her knew exactly what you were doing. It was like so high school of them to kind of sit there and do that. So I don't know. It's very unfortunate. Yeah. But anything else about them, you guys? All right. Well, what final thoughts do we have on the season? About this season of Married at First Sight in Houston. Oh, one thing, that I didn't say about Gil and Mirla was, I don't know if you guys heard Dr. Pepper say that Mirla needs to work on her value of money and how it drives her. She said that I can't remember, I guess when we were talking with each other, she was like, because that's going to continue to be an issue in future relationships if she doesn't figure that out. And I said that before. I think that she has I get where she came from is, you know, traumatic, and it was not of very many means. And it's one thing to be driven to do better, but her drive of money is, I think, a different type of look on kind of where she came from. Like, I feel like she should use that to be able to say, like, I don't want to ever go back there, but I don't know. I think it's just different. So I observed that Dr. Pepper said the same thing. Or whatever.
He was saying she's setting a precedent for failure with that mentality.
Yeah. So I mean, I can kind of agree. Like it has to be. It's going to have to be, you know, a balance. It can't be the only thing that kind of motivates her for a relationship.
Right.
What else did you guys have to say about season? What about the girls convo? Anything stick out to you guys there? They weren't as interesting to me as the boys when they talked.
Yeah,
I mean,
they weren't.
I mean, Michaela said that she didn't like Ryan, but that's a given.
He was, because he was vested in more with everyone else's marriage than his own.
Well, we already, because he wanted somebody, like you said, who was skinny with no butt. And so he knew his relationship wasn't going to work out.
Yeah. I do, like you had mentioned earlier about like when Gil got up and walked away and Mirla and Johnny were like giggling, kikiing over there. It really made my blood boil watching that. For Gil. Also, I normally like Kevin Frazier as the host, and I still do. I just feel like it was inappropriate to ask the questions about like the matching of the couples and all this stuff. Like, that's so insensitive to people who are really in it for love, like Gil. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean,
and I just felt like that was uncalled for.
I don't remember any other seasons where he asked that question.
He did. He's never asked that question before. It was almost like he was doing insult to injury, just trying to get an emotion out of him. I don't know. I thought it was cruel anyway, because the whole thing, you could tell, was very unexpected for him and was weighing on him emotionally. He said it, he was like, I felt so negative out there on the stage, interacting with them or whatever. It was a whole bunch. Like, if I was him, I would just say this: he's better than me, because I wouldn't even been able to sit there that long with my mouth closed and not say anything to him.
Did y'all catch Rachel when Johnny was like, "Oh, I guess he didn't like that question"? Rachel was like, "Back off, Johnny!" Like,
right.
And I was like, "Okay, I'm glad she said something." And Michaela did go after Gil. But they were all like sitting in silence, like, okay, I guess they were waiting for them to come back. I don't know. It was just awkward. You can cut, there's like tension you can cut with a knife. It was, it was hard watching. It was very hard watching.
And this cast is different because typically when the couples don't work out, like, all of the husbands and wives are off limits. But I mean, these people are exchanging each other like it's a doggone, I don't know, Uno or something.
Right. I mean, it's like they just, I don't know, like they're talking about spouse swapping and this and that. And I'm like, I just didn't, it almost makes me feel like none of them were serious except Gil and Brett. And I feel like there's like there should be some type of code between y'all. If y'all are friends, there should be some type of code saying, okay, yeah. But even if y'all didn't work out, we off limits to one another.
But I didn't get that vibe that they were close. They're close in like cliques.
They are.
Johnny, Mirla, Jose, and Rachel are close. And then Ryan, Bao, and Zach are close. But the rest of them, they're not close.
And then Ryan bounces back and forth between the different cliques.
Right. But the reason why I say that is because when the guys were by themselves, like just the guys talking with Kevin Frazier, it's like they were basically saying, you know, like, yeah, we're all friends. And like, even then, Johnny hadn't really revealed that he and Mirla was a thing, and Gil didn't. I don't know whether he knew it or not. I guess he had already heard rumors, but he said no comment. Like, I don't feel anything about that. I think he was just, trying not to hurt his own feelings.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's like they seem like they were okay. So
they did.
I don't know. I just feel like there should be some type of code. Like, that's like bro code. Like, come on, man, you don't do that.
I don't know. Like, because I mean, even with what it was in New Orleans, they were trying to hook up different people with different people, and they were like, "Nah, bro, that's somebody's wife, that's somebody's husband, that's all women or whatever."
Yeah.
I don't know. They were on this one. They're like, "Woo, let's just toss all the husbands and wives up that didn't make it and pick some cars." I don't know. Just a wild season.
And I guess to Gil's defense, he's more hurt because they actually made it to decision day and said yes. So that's why I feel like that should have been off limits. Had they said no, free for all, whatever.
Yeah.
Right.
But I guess time will tell. Maybe as things progress now, everything has wrapped, maybe more things will come out and you can put the pieces together. Otherwise, it just doesn't make any sense. So I mean, we could sit here and theorize about it forever. But we won't know until somebody spills the beans. Kind of the mystery of Johnny and why he felt so intimidated by Bao. I don't know. But anywho, I guess that is a wrap on Married at First Sight Houston. We will see you guys back in January when they start the new season. That season is in Boston. My understanding is they're already or almost done with the season already. So it'll be interesting to kind of see how this plays out in Boston. They're going, I guess, back to Boston because they've been there before. And then we'll be here to chat all about it. Make sure that you guys go ahead and hit the like button for this video and make sure that you subscribe and share so that when we get started again, you guys will be the first to know. Until next season of Married at First Sight, we'll see you guys around. All right, bye.